Battle of Actium, 31 BCE, the battle that created the Roman Empire. In the final years of the Roman Republic, two powerful leaders stood on the brink of war. On one side was Octavian, the adopted heir of Julius Caesar. On the other stood the powerful alliance of Mark Antony and the legendary queen Cleopatra VII of ancient Egypt. Their clash would culminate in one of history's most decisive naval battles, the Battle of Actium in 34 BCE. The road to war. After the assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BCE, Rome fell into chaos. To restore order, three powerful men formed an alliance known as the Second Triumvirate: Octavian, Mark Antony, and Marcus Aemilius Lepidus. But alliances built on power rarely last. The Roman world was eventually divided. Octavian controlled the western territories. Mark Antony ruled the eastern provinces. In the east, Antony formed a powerful and controversial partnership with Cleopatra VII, the charismatic queen of Egypt. Their alliance became both political and romantic. In Rome, Octavian used propaganda to turn the Roman people against Antony, portraying him as a man corrupted by a foreign queen and willing to give Rome's power to Egypt. Tensions rose. War became inevitable. Forces gather at Actium. By 31 BCE, both sides prepared for a massive confrontation near the Greek coast. The battlefield would be the waters near Actium, overlooking the Ionian Sea. Antony and Cleopatra assembled a huge fleet of around 500 ships, many of them massive war galleys. Octavian's forces, commanded by his brilliant admiral Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa, fielded about 400 lighter and faster ships. Though Antony's ships were larger and more heavily armed, Octavian's navy had superior maneuverability and experienced crews. The stage was set. The battle begins. On September 2nd, 31st BCE, the fleets finally clashed in the Battle of Actium. Antony's massive ships formed a defensive line across the mouth of the Gulf. Their towering decks and heavy armor made them floating fortresses. But Agrippa used a different strategy. Octavian's smaller vessels darted around Antony's fleet, attacking from multiple angles. Their speed allowed them to avoid the deadly rams and heavy weapons of the larger ships. The battle raged for hours under the blazing Mediterranean sun. Then came the moment that changed everything: Cleopatra's escape. In the middle of the battle, Cleopatra VII suddenly sailed her Egyptian fleet through a gap in the fighting and headed south toward Egypt. Seeing her departure, Mark Antony made a shocking decision. He abandoned the battle and followed her with a small group of ships. Their sudden retreat left the rest of Antony's fleet leaderless. Confusion spread. Morale collapsed. One by one, the remaining ships surrendered or were destroyed. The battle was over. The fall of Antony and Cleopatra. After their defeat, Mark Antony and Cleopatra VII fled back to Alexandria, but Octavian pursued them relentlessly. In 30 BCE, Octavian invaded Egypt. Facing certain defeat, both lovers chose death over capture. Mark Antony took his own life with a sword. Cleopatra VII, according to legend, allowed herself to be bitten by a venomous asp. With their deaths, the last major resistance to Octavian vanished. The birth of the Roman Empire. The victory at the Battle of Actium ended a century of Roman civil wars. Soon after, the Roman Senate granted Octavian a new title, Augustus. This marked the official beginning of the Roman Empire. For the next 5 centuries, Rome would dominate the Mediterranean world, and it all began with a battle fought on a single stretch of sea near Actium.